Get out if you don't do any housework. My son and his wife blurted out the words that should never be said. They will surely regret having truly angered me. Fine, I'll move out right now. The next day, my daughter-in-law called, but of course, I ignored it. It's too late for them to realize their mistake after they've gone through hell. My name is Jane. When I was 40, my husband passed away, and I started working as a medical office administrator at a clinic. There's no room for mistakes in medical administration. Working in a medical setting means bearing the heavy responsibility of protecting patients' lives. This is true not only for nurses and pharmacists but also for medical office administrators. I was also desperately raising my son, John. Fortunately, he graduated high school, got a job at a big company, and found a new love at work. Since he said she was incredibly cute, I was looking forward to meeting her, but she was not what I had imagined. She might have good looks, but she had flashy blonde hair and a rough demeanor. Her name is Lisa, and she's 25 years old. Not only does she casually address my son, who is over 10 years older, but she also speaks to me without any respect. She proudly talked about her past as a delinquent, boasting about her wild stories. Seeing her casually talk about unbelievable things like throwing 5 thugs into a river, I told my son I was against the marriage. However, he was completely infatuated and insisted that if he couldn't marry her, he would never marry anyone. They didn't have a wedding but just registered their marriage and started living together. Looking back, this marriage might have been the beginning of the tragedy. After the wedding, my son quit his job and said he wanted to open a shop. I was so surprised by this unexpected news that I went to his house instead of discussing it over the phone. What do you mean by opening a shop? I'm tired of the rigid hierarchy in the corporate world. Did something bad happen? I had a bit of a conflict with a female employee. You weren't fired for harassment, were you? Who do you think I am, some monster? I didn't say that. His bad habit is joking around during serious conversations. Even at 35, he doesn't understand the difference between humor and foolishness. What kind of shop are you planning to open? A cafe with great coffee. There was a song about that long ago, but it was about tea. Do you have savings? You'll need around $100,000 to open a shop. $100,000. Seeing his wide eyes, I felt anxious. Starting a shop without a plan would lead to immediate failure. Does he understand how difficult it is to run a restaurant? Why don't you work at a cafe first before opening your own? Lisa is looking forward to opening the shop. How about being a hired manager? A hired manager wouldn't have the freedom. I want to be the owner and master. With my innovative ideas and unparalleled intellect. Running a cafe will be a breeze. Do you know what my nickname was in high school? They called me the genius strategist. Your classmates were full of lies. Who do you think I am, some idiot? I didn't say that. The conversation was going nowhere. Do you have savings? No. So, I'll probably start with a loan. This feels less like crossing a dangerous bridge and more like walking a tightrope on fire. What's the concept for your shop? What's a concept? Has he thought of nothing? I'm getting more and more worried. Who's your target market? What kind of customers do you want to attract? Well, I'd like young, cute women to come. I'm being serious. Maybe I'll put a sign outside that says, "Beauty only." I held back my anger and asked. Do you have a unique selling point? Something that sets your shop apart? Of course, I do. It's my trump card. Could you share it with me? Lisa will be the waitress. With her charm, male customers will line up around the block. I mean, I'd choose a cafe with a cute waitress if the price is the same. Cafes usually have big glass windows, so once people see her lovely appearance, they'll flock in. This is hopeless. The conversation was going nowhere. As I was about to leave, he stopped me. So, here's the thing I wanted to discuss. What? I want you to live with us. Live with you? Living under the same roof as that wife? Lisa will help with the shop, so we need you to do the housework. Cooking, cleaning, laundry, all that stuff. Make her do it. I work full-time as a salaried employee. At your age? Dr. Smith, the clinic's director, said I could work until I'm around 65 if I wanted to. When you're at the same job for a long time, you build trust. You should have kept your job instead of quitting impulsively. My son was silent for a few seconds, then spoke with a troubled look. I made a small mistake, and my idiot boss blew up at me. You made a mistake at work? Not exactly at work. There was this girl from another department, and I asked her how many months along she was because she looked a bit chubby. She glared at me and said she wasn't pregnant. You're kidding. Asking a non-pregnant girl how many months along she is basically calling her fat. Idiot. That's not funny. My boss got even angrier than the girl, treating me like I was a monster. So, in a heated moment, I said I'd quit this stupid company. He quit so easily. Does he understand what a job means? Why didn't you look for another job instead of jumping into a cafe? Filling out resumes is a pain. Opening a shop requires paperwork that's way more tedious than a resume. Then he wagged his finger and said no in a mocking way. I resisted the urge to slap him and somehow kept my composure. Writing a resume for a job you don't like and doing paperwork to achieve your dream are totally different feelings, Mom. You must be joking. I'm an optimist. It's pointless to get worked up with someone who isn't serious. If it's your dream, I'm not against you opening a shop, but I won't do any housework. Please, don't say that. You can handle housework even while running the shop. I actually promised Lisa something. Convincing her to marry me was tough. So I told her that just living together would make me happy and she wouldn't have to do any housework. I was so stunned I was at a loss for words, but I couldn't stay silent. Even so, why should I do the housework? Actually, I need your help not only with housework but also with preparing the shop. It won't be as intense as a bar. But the prep work will still be a lot. If you're making me part of the staff, I'll have a say in things. I'd prefer if you didn't say too much. I need to nip his naivety in the bud before it leads to disaster. Thinking this, I started with the basics. Do you have the stamina to keep the shop running? I'm confident in my stamina, you know. I do stretches and weight training every day. Not that kind of stamina. I mean the financial stability to keep paying your employees and maintaining your lifestyle even if you're running at a loss. In that case, I have zero confidence. Seeing him say this with a smile made me sigh. Sighing will chase away your happiness. You're the one making me sigh. Who do you think I am, some kind of monster? I didn't say that. Just then, Lisa came in and openly scowled, but there was still a lot that needed to be discussed. I started speaking rapidly. If they serve light meals in addition to coffee, they'll need more ingredients, equipment, furnishings, signs, and staff. The menu can't be poorly handwritten. The location of the shop is crucial. Have they researched if there are similar cafes nearby? To open a shop, they'll need a marketing strategy involving social media and flyers and a detailed plan to secure funding. As I was talking, Lisa, who had been silently listening, interrupted. Why are you the one making decisions? For a moment, I didn't know who she was talking to. She couldn't mean me, could she? John's the one opening the shop. Running a restaurant is tough. You're too picky, you old hag. I couldn't believe my ears, but my son stepped in with a strained smile. Okay, let's calm down. We can continue this discussion tomorrow. I thought I heard her call me an old hag, but maybe I misheard. Maybe my hearing isn't as sharp as it used to be. I have an income of $2,700 a month from my medical office job, plus bonuses. I've saved money over the years without any extravagance. I can support my son a little if he's serious about this. If he's really committed, I want to help him. Having his own shop is a dream with real potential. So, I started living with them under the condition that I would be involved in managing the shop. I've lived for 60 years and haven't wasted that time. Using my connections, I got a trustworthy accountant, and despite my son's reluctance and Lisa's complaints, I convinced them to take his advice. Thanks to that, we managed to secure $60,000 in startup capital. We started the shop, but the world isn't so kind that it's full every day. One night, Lisa came out of the bathroom in just a towel, walked into the kitchen, and opened the fridge. I was stunned and speechless but couldn't stay silent. Lisa. What? It's fine if it's just you and my son, but I'm living here too. That outfit is inappropriate. I'm wearing a towel because you're here. If you weren't, I'd be naked. I was literally left speechless as I stood there, mouth half open. Could you please not fuss over every little thing? Calm down, I told myself. One morning, Lisa came into the kitchen yawning in her pajamas and started eating the breakfast I had prepared without saying a word. The shop opens at 7 a.m. for breakfast, but it was already 8:30 a.m. Lisa, you haven't been showing up at the shop lately. John said I don't have to. An ugly customer suddenly asked to exchange contact information, and when I refused, he got mad and said, "What's with that attitude? I'm a customer." So, I told him, "You're 100 million years too early to hit on me with that face." She said this with a proud smile, but I gave her a stern look. The customer is always right. A cafe can't survive without customers. I don't need customers like that. I threw water in his face and told him never to come back. You're kidding, right? Before I could say more, she cut me off. In the old days, I would have poured hot coffee over his head. He should be grateful it was just water. I couldn't let this go. I'm her mother-in-law. Then, Lisa, you should at least get a part-time job to help with the household finances. Is that an order? She glared at me menacingly, trying to intimidate me. I couldn't back down now. Lisa, if you don't want to work, at least do the housework. Shut up, you old hag. I hate being told what to do. Who do you think you're talking to? You. Who do you think I am? I'm not some ordinary woman you can lecture. Anger and fear clashed inside me, making me tremble. Oh, are you thinking of hitting me? If you do, I'll punch you right in the face. This is too much. I have to tell my son. After the shop closed, I spoke to him. We need to talk about something important. I don't want to hear another lecture. I told him about Lisa's unbelievable behavior in detail, but his response was just as shocking. Did you nag her again, making her snap? Nag? What do you mean? Mom, you probably don't realize this, but all you do is deny. Deny? Instead of addressing his wife's actions, he lectured me. When someone keeps getting denied, even if they're wrong, they don't want to talk to that person anymore. So, this is my fault? Even if someone says something odd, acknowledge it first. If people feel heard, they're more likely to listen to you. That's basic human nature. He was completely siding with his wife. If you keep giving me life lessons, my life will be over. With that, I left the shop. Rumors spread about a waitress assaulting a customer, and the business saw a sharp decline. I asked my son, who was idling at the counter. John, do you ever check the bank account? Not really. You should update the passbook and keep track of the balance. It should be fine. Since he rarely checks the account, he probably doesn't know that I've been giving a bit of support every month. I don't need gratitude, but it's disheartening. Running a business without proper accounting is a recipe for disaster. Life always finds a way. It's not going to be fine. Absolutely not. Right off the bat with the negativity? Let's talk about something more fun. They say laughter brings good fortune, right? I'm an optimist. After all. I couldn't hold back and started to rant. Your so-called optimism is just being unrealistically hopeful. True optimism means staying positive and seeing the good even in bad situations. Turning tragedy into comedy with resilience and fighting spirit. There's a big difference between optimism and unrealistic hope. He started tapping the counter. Tap out. Like when you knock someone down with a high kick and then mount them and punch their face repeatedly? Enough already. This is your shop. Shut up. I'm serious and struggling here. If you can't say anything but depressing stuff, just leave. I couldn't believe my ears. I can't bear to watch my son change under his wife's influence. I don't want to say this, but... Then don't. Lisa doesn't help with the shop, she doesn't do any housework, and she speaks to me rudely. Is this okay? It's your responsibility as her husband to talk to her. Oh, Lisa. What? I turned around quickly, and he laughed hysterically. You fell for it, totally freaked out. Is this how he mocks his own mother? I made up my mind. I wouldn't interfere with the shop or do any housework anymore. Even though a messy house makes me want to clean, I resisted and did nothing. One morning, with nothing on the table, Lisa asked me in her pajamas. Hey, where's breakfast? Why don't you make it, Lisa? I'm off to work. See you. Wait a minute. I ignored her and left the house. I had dinner at a diner near the clinic and returned home around 9 p.m. Lisa, looking furious, confronted me. Do you know what time it is? You didn't make dinner, you're trying to starve me? If you're hungry, make it yourself. You're not a child. Are you picking a fight? As I tried to go to my room, she grabbed my arm. Wait. If you use violence, I'll call the police immediately. Maybe intimidated by my firm stance, she let go. By the way, you haven't done any cleaning or laundry. That's why you should do it, Lisa. If you don't do housework, there's no point in you being here. Are you serious? I think I've been a significant help. You, on the other hand, don't do housework, don't help with the shop, and just complain. What good are you? Say one more word, and I'll hit you. I couldn't afford to get injured and jeopardize my job. I retreated to my room. I could hear shouting from the bedroom, and despite not wanting to eavesdrop, I listened. You're spoiling that old hag. She complains every time she sees me. Do something about her. If you can't handle your own mother, I'm leaving. Stop. I can't have you leave, Lisa. I'd lose my will to live. If you really mean that, do something. Okay. I'll handle it. Just don't say you're leaving. Pathetic. Did I raise him wrong? Maybe I spoiled him without realizing it as a single mother. I felt like crying. When my son said he had something important to discuss, I went to the shop after it closed. Lisa was there, looking at me with a mocking smile. What's this important talk about? You're planning to keep not doing any housework, right? You should do the housework yourself. Shut up. I told you not to order me around. Get out if you won't do housework, you old hag. Laughing, she spewed her insults, giving my son a meaningful look. As he hesitated, she whispered something that I could still hear. Say it or I'll divorce you. Get out if you won't do housework, you old hag. Get out if you won't do housework, you old hag. They said the words that should never be spoken. They will surely regret making me truly angry. Just to confirm, John, you really want me to leave? Get out already. Fine, I'll move out right now. Just one thing. What now? John, I'm severing ties with you. From now on, we're strangers. Don't expect any help from me. That's my line. Good riddance, you fool. You stay out of this. I'm talking to my son. As I shouted, Lisa grabbed my arm. My son hurriedly stepped between us. Time out, let's avoid violence. Let's break it up, foul, 1, 2, 3. Shut up. This isn't wrestling, it's a street fight, no rules. Did you forget my warning about calling the police if you resort to violence? She let go of my arm but glared at me. I moved out immediately. I found a nice apartment near the clinic, making my commute easier and sparing me from seeing her face. The next day, Lisa called, but I ignored her. She kept calling persistently, but I didn't answer. I used to transfer $3,000 monthly to my son's account, but naturally, I stopped after moving out. Given their poor management, I doubted their business would thrive, and without my support, their savings would soon be exhausted. Now, I live a carefree life without unnecessary burdens. A year passed. Lisa called again, so I picked up. Hello? Is this Jane? Thank goodness you finally answered. Her voice sounded meek, but I wasn't gullible enough to fall for it. Hello, it's been a while. What is it? The shop is in trouble, it's about to go under. Going under? Did a meteor strike it? There was a few seconds of silence before she continued, still in a weak voice. Please help us. We're not getting any customers, and if the shop closes, we can't repay our debts. Some tough guys have been threatening us, offering me night shifts at dubious places. Please, help us, Jane. I don't have a daughter. I apologize for everything. Please forgive me. But I responded coldly. I won't forgive you. What can I do to earn your forgiveness? I will never forgive you. You've done enough to deserve this. It's too late. You're so cruel. You helped us with $3,000 every month, but why didn't you tell us such an important thing? Lisa, your sweet talking might fool some naive men, but I'm not that easy. I'm busy, so I'm hanging up now. Wait, please. Goodbye. She kept calling, but I ignored her. It's too late for them to realize their mistakes after they've gone through hell. 3 days later, as I was leaving work, I saw my son and his wife in the clinic parking lot. They were apologizing profusely, but I walked past them. Please wait. We really need your help. You're the only one we can rely on. I have neither a daughter nor a son. Mom, families help each other in tough times. Which mouth are you using to say that? We're sorry, please forgive us. We're begging you. Lisa was apologizing profusely, but I harshly rejected them. Even a monkey can show remorse. What do you mean, a monkey? Wait, Lisa. What do you mean by monkey? You promised you wouldn't get angry no matter what was said. As they argued, I turned and walked away. I heard Lisa's yelling and my son's shouting behind me. It's all your fault. I looked back and saw Lisa grabbing my son, but it wasn't my concern anymore. Later, I heard that their shop went bankrupt. Lisa left a divorce notice and disappeared, and my son skipped town. Knowing this, my heart ached. There are many people in the world who struggle despite their best efforts. For such people, I want to help unconditionally. But I have no desire to help those who don't make any effort and only mock others. Now, I can focus on my work. Being a medical office administrator is fulfilling. No one comes to the hospital willingly. I want to greet patients warmly and kindly, giving them hope and energy.